Green meditation is not trying to correct any balance. It's trying to find the existing balance, starting with our own bodies. This is a traditional way of passing along spiritual practice. You enter into a meditative state, and then you listen. It's a little bit like a glass that's left. No, better than that. It's like a leak in your roof. You have a slow but persistent leak. There's water coming in, and if you don't want your floor to be damaged, you take a pot and you put it out. You forget about it. You go to bed. You wake up in the morning, and even though it's only been dripping one drop every few seconds, in the morning the pot is full. It's the same way learning meditation. There's a tremendous amount of listening that takes place in the beginning. And as you listen, you basically learn how to talk and how to help other people learn it as well. It's passed along in that way. For tonight, just very briefly, it's not even very long, I just wanted to share an appreciation of a teaching, green teaching that I discovered. The mantra that I actually passed around, written on a stone, Mane Padme Hum. These are called Mane stones. These are stones on which the 6-syllable mantra of Chenresig or Avalokiteshvara is either carved or painted. And these Mane stones are sort of a traditional practice using the hands. It's kind of devotional practice. And Nepal and Tibet and various places in India, you might find, a whole wall of several hundreds or even thousands of these stones, only instead of, written in Sharpie marker, like Mark did, they're actually carved, with a chisel, so they last quite a long time. So anyway, I started doing a little research about this mantra. In Tibetan Buddhism, of course, it means Om, the jewel in the lotus, Hum or And the first and last syllable don't have any strict meaning. Om is a universal sound, and Hum is a sound of integration or settling or fixing. And it's also of the heart. It's a centering word. This business of the jewel in the lotus is variously interpreted. A lotus grows up out of the mud, mud under the water. And the stem travels up to the surface, and then it opens and blossoms above the surface of the water. So it has its roots in the mud and the muck, but above the water it's very beautiful and pure. There's no mud on a lotus blossom, even though its roots sink down into the mud. So this is traditionally thought of in Buddhism as a symbol of the fact that within this human life we can find our enlightened nature. Even in the midst of all the muck and grime and just day-to-day difficulties of life, we can in fact build our enlightenment out of that. Now, in typical fashion, green meditation never reads these teachings quite the way they're intended by their purveyors. So the lamas will offer a teaching like this, but when we practice green meditation, we learn to look through those teachings as if they were transparent, and to ask ourselves, what is behind them? There's an older teaching that's there already, that's been institutionalized. And the real life of a spiritual practice, whatever it is, whether it's zazen, seated meditation, no thoughts, just following the breath in and out, just sitting, being here, right now, right here, no place else. Whether it's a practice like that, or it's a mantra practice, or prostration, or bowing, or yoga, or whatever it is. If we look past the religious formalism of that practice and the way it's passed along, we find something older and richer and deeper that offers us more nourishment and more connection with the earth. So I was asking myself, what does this mean? the jewel in the lotus. Om, the jewel in the lotus. Om Mane Padme Hum. Om Mane Padme Hum. And you know, in typical fashion, when you ask this kind of question, you don't ask it with the mind, you ask it with the body. So the way I asked it was to take that practice out into nature with me and to do it out loud. So I have for the past few weeks been going out in the morning, early morning, sometimes late at night as well, and say, Om Mane Padme Hum, 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 over and over. And a few hundred times at the beginning of the day, a few hundred times at the end of the day. And just seeing where that would take me. And now, as soon as thoughts came up, like, you know, I would hear Kalu Rinpoche saying, oh yes, the Mane, the Om is the mind of the past, the Mane Padme is the mind of the present, and the Hung is the mind of the future. And as soon as I heard those words, I would say, Strand, get out of here. I'm not interested in that. Thank you, but no thanks. I don't want that. What I want is the older teaching, whatever it was. Okay? And then the Dalai Lama would come in. The Dalai Lama would say, these are the stages along the Bodhisattva path. I would say, that's all fine and good, but get out of here. I don't want that. I want the older, more natural, more earth-centered teaching. And so all of these accretions and these various schemes and traditions and ways of dividing up the syllables, you know, Dogo Kensei Rinpoche arrived one morning, you know, from the grave and said, whoa, well, you know, the 6 syllables represent the 6 states of existence. Om represents the realm of the gods. Ma represents the realm of the jealous gods or the asuras. Ni represents the human realm. Pe represents the animal realm. Me, the realm of the hungry ghosts. And Hum, the hell realm. So that when you say Om Mane Padme Hum, you're essentially closing off birth, rebirth in each of those realms. And you're also offering blessings to the beings trapped in those realms. And I said, sorry, but I know all that. That's very good. I appreciate that. But I just really want the older, more original form of Om Mane Padme Hum. So I'm sitting there and going, Om Mane Padme Hum, Om Mane Padme Hum, Om Mane Padme Hum, Om Mane Padme Hum. Until finally there's just that pure sound. There's no thought accompanying it. And I open my eyes and I'm surrounded by birds who've gathered all around me that are singing. I didn't know that they were singing. I didn't know they were there because I had my eyes closed and I was singing. And what I felt from them at that moment was, we didn't know you guys had a sound. We have our song. We didn't know you had a song. We thought it was all confusion. We thought it was all strife and struggle and upsetness and longing and suffering and greed and anger and violence. But we see that you do have a song, so we've come to sing with you. That's my experience.